Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, and in this video we're going to have a little look at scientific prayers. So the reason why I want to bring this up is because when we look at scientific prayers, we are looking at them in a way that we are wording them and scripting them in a way that brings up an emotion within us that causes our frequency to rise. Now I know that we don't need to have to be in all of these frequencies and all of this kind of way of being to attract what it is that we want. However, when we are feeling a little stuck, we're feeling a little frustrated, or we're feeling like we're falling into disbelief within ourselves, it's a great tool to get into the habit of creating, because it raises that energy within of belief, of motivation, of determination, and of that feeling of persistence and knowing that you're going to create exactly what it is that you want. Now, the reason for me is why I think it creates this emotion is because when you sit down and write a prayer in a way that you are really tapping into how you are feeling in that moment, you're not only releasing any negative energies or any low frequencies that you may be feeling, you're also tapping into what it is that you are desiring to create, because you're creating a prayer that is asking for this to come into your reality. You're commanding this actual thing into your reality, and you're coming from a place of power. So when we are manifesting, we do want to come into the knowing that we are manifesting beings, and it's coming into this embodiment of power that we hold within that actually creates everything that we desire in our reality. So when we are just using affirmations, perfect, or visualizations, or perfect script and everything, it's all leading us to what it is that we are creating, because the belief is just a focused thought. It's just a thought that we keep thinking. And also when we focus upon something, it's going to create an energy that's going to attract in our reality. But I want to talk a little bit about frequencies, because when we are actually wanting to manifest something into our life, let's say for example we're manifesting a lot of money into our life, and we have a specific amount that we want to attract into our life. So we can have our specific affirmations, and we can be going about our day and we can be feeling good, and then all of a sudden something might come up that may distract us, because remember, when we get distracted and we start disbelieving, that's all it is in the moment, because we are always going to manifest what it is that we want once we persist. But in that moment, if we find ourselves spiraling and thinking, I can't do this is not going to happen, I'm not going to be able to manifest what it is that we want, if we have that prayer, that scientific prayer that we have created, we jump onto that rather than our affirmations. Reason why I want to say this is because when we start to affirm that I am rich, and we're coming from a distressed state of being, our low energy frequency is only going to feel that we're not believing in what it is that we are saying, and it can cause a little bit of anxiety, and it can cause a little bit of stress. Now, also as well too, if we do have that low energy feeling, we can become more empowered with it and utilize it in a way that we just start roaring that I am rich, put all the anger and everything into it, which can actually change change the energy level as well too. But if we're somebody who is not that way inclined, that is not able to utilize anger and put it into creating, we can actually go the opposite way, and we can have our scientific prayer to jump onto. So anyone who actually is spiritual, or let's say for example maybe you're into religion or whatever it is, and you do pray already, it might be something that you might actually like to look into. Now, I do want to say that when we are using scientific prayers, we want to understand that it's the cause of it is to get the subconscious and conscious mind into alignment. So God, power, source, infinite intelligence, universe, everything is within us. The power is all within us. There's nothing outside of us. We're just basically a consciousness experiencing itself from different levels of consciousness in other people, in subjective ways, and then we are raising our consciousness and coming into this one consciousness when we understand that we are actually the power within, that all we hold is within us, and we can create everything from within. So the low frequency energies are actually the anger, guilt, all of these feelings of not trusting, frustration, all of these feelings that cause a low frequency. And look, I know that we don't have to be in a high vibe all the time to manifest, but we do want to understand that this is a thing. It's scientifically proven that we are calibrating on frequencies from a moment to moment basis. So I want to just bring up this idea from Dr. David Hawkins. Anyone who knows him, he has done lots of work on all of this kind of thing, and recently reading Letting Go, the pathway to surrender, and he talks about all of this kind of thing about the low energy frequencies. He is actually the creator, I think, of the map of consciousness as well. If anyone wants to look that up, it will show you where you are on your emotional scale and where the emotions are and how high you are calibrating right now in this moment as well too, from how you are feeling. So he says in this book as well, when we shift out of a lower to a higher energy pattern, we create a protective shield on the energetic level. So this is when we were talking about Dr. Joe Dispenza the other day in the video that I did on elevated emotion, the fastest way to get into brain and heart coherence. So we want to understand that there is an aura around us at all times. I will post a picture up again of the incoherence and the coherent aura that is around us. Now this is our magnetic field, and even when I'm meditating now as well too, I can feel this presence of the aura. I can feel the, you know, as I said before, I can feel my chakras actually spinning now when I get into about 20 minutes of meditation or 15 minutes, whatever. It takes a little bit of time to get into that actual feeling, but I can feel it like when I'm sitting there meditating, or even sometimes now when I just put my hands together like that, because we're energy beings. And this aura then that is around us then is more, it spreads out wider, and it obviously becomes more magnetic when we are in elevated emotions. When we're in lower frequency emotions, it's incoherent. So there's there's no clarity, there's not much clarity going on, and so it's like the wave is kind of like I'm not sure if it's a wave comes in like this when we're coherent, or out like that when we're incoherent, but that's actually the way that it is. And even when you use brain synchronization binaural beats as well, you can feel your right and left brain hemisphere moving as well. Well, I know from my own experience that I can actually feel the vibration of that going like that in a wave when I am meditating now if I use binaural beats. Now, the reason then for why Dr. David Hawkins was talking about energy then is because when we are operating from this level, we are vulnerable then to other people. So other people can actually feel, we know that we are vibrational beings and we can pick up on people's energy as well. So when we're in a state of anger, for instance, he says, we are vulnerable to the energy depletion brought about by the other person's counter anger. So if we are feeling anger and we're around somebody who is feeling the same way, it's going to cause a good bit of an emotion. We're going to pick up on that energy even without saying anything, and then this can cause kind of negative thoughts as well too. So paradoxically, if we really want to affect other people, then we ought to really love them. So if we are really loving someone, and he says in this book as well too, like this can boomerang, it has an effect upon us. We can actually connect to somebody who is miles away through this elevated emotion of love. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this as well too. So he talks about then, guilt as well, if we're holding on to guilt. And then he was on about that, people will actually, they pick up on your emotions even if it's not conscious to them. So anyone who's manifesting for a specific person, for example, and you are, let's say for example, you're in a low frequency vibration, you're feeling anger, hurt, frustration, whatever it is that you are thinking. Now, I know you can sit down and you can say your affirmations, and I know that continuing to say your affirmations in a way that are like even say them in frustration and stuff like that, you could probably still get results. But for maintaining and sustaining results, we want to be coming from these pure thoughts when we are actually manifesting to talk to specific people, or manifesting specific people into a reality. Because when we come from this genuine loving place, unconditional loving place, you will find that the person will come into your reality a lot quicker than they will if you are actually affirming for them from this low frequency energy. And look, you can argue with me on this, but I'm just going from my own experience actually as well too. I have found that it was easier manifesting specific people when you are coming from this genuine, it's like a little bit of detachment in it, I suppose, but you are thinking from them from a level of detachment. And also then you're even look at, I've even thought about them, even I've manifested people as well, even if I was a little bit frustrated, but I came into that place of detachment. So it was like my energy levels came up because I meditated, and then I just made an assumption, went to bed, and then it kind of manifested. And I know that those things can happen, but we do want to be coming from maintaining and sustaining consistency in our life. And the best way and the fastest way is to be always looking for the happier feeling, the joyous feeling, the loving feeling. And it doesn't even have to be all of the time, but when we are manifesting for particular things and we're feeling a little frustrated, we want to come back into the belief within ourselves. This is where the self-concept comes in, because everything is within, and everything outside of us is reflecting back to us what we are thinking and believing about ourselves. And so it's never really about what's going on outside of us. And so when we start to affirm from a place of, we're trying to change conditions, it just becomes a little bit more frustrating. Now, I'm not saying you can't get results from that, because I know that you can, and but I want to talk about maintaining and sustaining consistency. So we want to drop that then, and we want to say, look, hang on a second, I just need to come into a bit more belief within myself. I'm just going to work on my self-concept today, use affirmations for my self-concept. Then when I feel a little bit better, I'll go back to that kind of subject then of what it is I'm manifesting, and I'll have new ideas about it. Maybe I'll have more inspiration. Maybe I'll get inspired action. It just becomes a lot more of an easier process when we look at it from this way. Now, I know that you manifest without any of this kind of energy kind of way of being, but we are vibrational beings. We do have a magnetic aura around us. It is scientifically proven that when we are coming from a place of elevated emotions in gratitude and peace and love, that things do actually unfold in a more easier way. We get the inspiration, we take the action, we know what to do, when to do, and how to do it, because we actually have more clarity. And so understanding our frequencies that are within our body is a thing to do when we are wanting to create. So I think I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Sorry about that. But the scientific prayer then is one of the greatest ways, from my own perspective anyway, to get into that emotion even when we're stressed and we're feeling anger or feeling guilt or feeling low in our vibrational energy. And when we create from this kind of way of being, we're utilizing our power within, because the power is all within us. So it's kind of about embracing that power, coming into that empowerment and saying, I am getting this thing, and I'm going to maybe script down this is how I feel right now, and this is what I want, and this is what I'm getting, and I'm saying it in this way. Just script it down. For me, I script it because I know that if I'm in a state of emotions or whatever it is, I script it because I just let the pen write and I let it come out, and then when I read it back, then I feel so much better. It's like a release, and then it's also like a knowing that this thing is happening, it's on its way. And anytime then that I feel low in emotion, I would jump onto a scientific prayer rather than affirming, because I just feel that the emotion is utilized better, and I come more into my power, rather than actually trying to change conditions outside. I just come into my power, and then I'm able to get on with my day, and then do my meditations and all of the things that bring more joy into my life. So I just wanted to make a quick video on that. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon.